This is the cherry variety Morello, and I think I bought this tree from the Asta. That is a interesting tree. It gave me a lot of fruit this year. Beautiful, delicious. It has grown well. And when I compare it with the other Morello cherry that I have there, it was a bigger size. This one I bought it from the Keeper's Nursery, I think. Oh no, that was also from, that is from the, yeah, Keeper's Nursery or Blackmore Nursery. It was bigger size, but they gave similar amount of the cherry. This one gave actually in the first year some cherries. So thumbs up for Keeper's Nursery. Cherries of the Keeper's Nursery are good, and the plums of them. All the plums that I had this year were from Keeper's Nursery. The opal and the blue teeth. And yeah, I'm really delighted by that. This tree from Asta is also growing well. And I'm really happy that I can show you this growth. The growth of this year starts from here. And as you see, it goes upward like that for about 3 foot. Then we have here also some more growth. And I'm really happy to look at this amount of the growth. And these are the branches which this coming year, 2016, will give, God willing, some crop to us. So I'm looking forward. And when I compare it with this tree, which also is from Asta, this is a Stella, cherry variety Stella. And I bought it from the Asta. It had canker, bacterial canker, and I had to cut the middle part of it, as you see there, just to save the rest of the tree. Of course, some part of it has now came off. I have to cover it again, but it put a good growth. Wherever I cut, it has given a good growth back. It didn't give any fruit this year, or probably 1 or 2 which fell. But the tree looks generally healthier than what I have on the other side. The reason I made a mistake this year, I bought from an organic nursery called Walcott Organic Nursery. And I didn't realize what's the meaning of organic. But now I know. When they say organic, it means they have not used any pesticide on them. So practically the tree comes with all the natural pests that grow on the tree. So when you receive it, you're introducing something which has pests on it, like black fly and other things. Introducing that to your own garden. And this actually happened here, in the other side of the allotment. So I had 3 or 4 cherries from the Walcott Organic Nursery, and all of them had this problem with, unfortunately, with black fly. And even they tried to, they even infested my Merton Glory cherry, which I bought from the Keeper's Nursery, and gave me a very good crop this year. The one that you see, you can see it. Yeah, there in the middle now. And so I learned a lesson. Organic nursery, if you're not using non-organic sources, organic nurseries means that you will most likely introduce pests to your garden by buying from them, unless you make sure that when you receive it, use pesticides to kill all the germs and everything, all the bugs and everything that comes with that. Otherwise, I'm a little bit doubtful about that now. The apples were alright, I bought from them, and the Marjorie seedling. But the cherries had a problem. Cherries from the Keeper's Nursery were all good. And if I want to buy trees, I will recommend this way to shop. If you want cherries, Keeper's Nursery is the best place for cherries and sour cherries, and plums, all kind of plums. Of course, if you buy a 2-year-old plum tree, maiden means just with bare root and everything. Maiden means first year. It's better to buy 2-year Either bare root, means without any soil attached to it, delivered to you in winter, late autumn, or in a pot at any time of the year. Of course, you can have that. These are good if you get it from the keeper's nursery. The blueberries of them are excellent. The grapes, they're all right. And these are the things I can recommend from the keeper's nursery. Also, the apple that I received, some of the apples are really good. They give you good size apple, 2 years, of course, 2 years old ones. And the topaz apple was really good. I'm really pleased with that. But all the plums and cherries I get from them were excellent, perfect. Blackmore Nursery is good for some other things. If you want to have, for example, pear, they're good. Pears of the keeper's nursery are also good, but the one that I bought for was 1 year old, so it took 1 year to grow actually to 2 years old. The ones I bought from Blackmore were 2 years old already, so they gave me some fruit in the first year. In the second year, as you see, they've given more fruit. I will show you here. So blueberries from the from the Blackmore Nursery, I don't recommend. They died on my thing, yeah, and the apricots also. Unfortunately, apricot also died. They didn't accept it to give a replacement for it. Died anyway, and yeah, I think, for example, the plums are not as good as the keeper's nursery. The plums I received from them was Victoria and a golden, all in golden gauge. You may see them here barely at the end. If you cannot see them, that's all right. But anyway, these are at the end. They were very small first year, or quite very small. I was surprised how small they are. And they have given some fruit this year in the second year, but yet very small amount of crop. They are very tiny. So plums are not, I do not recommend from the Blackmore Nursery. And from the rest of the nurseries, if you want, you can try. Apples from the Blackmore were also not bad in the first year at least, and second year they're not as good as the first year, but they're giving good crop. So overall, if I want to rate them, I think that the Keepers and the Blackmore Nursery, Keeper's Nursery is a bit higher for me, but if I want certain varieties of apples and other things, I will go for that. But Keeper's Nursery also have a wide range of apples. That's it. It depends on you, how much you are ready to pay, really. And both of them are good. I think Keeper's Nursery is have a wider range of the fruit trees, more rare varieties also. And if you get a tree, I recommend get 2-year-old tree when you buy from any nursery. But that means you have already pushed yourself 1 year ahead, and the chances that you will have some crop is much more. Other nurseries, organic nurseries, I may not go. Last year I went for it just because I wanted the Winston or the Winter King apple, and then around it I bought other varieties of fruit trees, cherries, and Marjorie seedling, plums, and other things. I'm not very much impressed. If you like it, just go for it. But I probably would have not gone for that if they didn't have that apple variety that I wanted, Winter King. And the local nursery is also good. If you have Asta or anything around you, Asta is good. If you can get anything from Asta trees are not bad. They are not very expensive, but the varieties are very limited, of course. With the varieties from the Aldi and Lidl, I planted, but unfortunately one of the trees from them died, opal plum. Another one in the second year has not given anything yet. I planted a Victoria plum from the Aldi this year. It looked very weak. The root ball was quite small and really tacky. You see it at the center here. And I'm not sure how it will do next year, but we will see. And Kenmore is a good nursery if you try it. I bought some raspberries from them, and I was impressed with the varieties. And I've seen some videos. You see, they know how to do it. The trick for the nursery is to produce some good fruit-producing trees is to train them as a espalier. Espalier means they will have near horizontal branches, even though the tree maybe is very small. And when in that situation, the trees actually think they're older than what they are, and they give fruit on the first year. It doesn't mean the second year they may repeat it. Necessarily, it doesn't mean that, but they may do better. But that is impressive for you if you want something like that. But that is also trained for the espaliers or for dwarfing trees. So it's better go for a standard M26 or M109 rootstock if you have the space. On the second thought, this time I may not go for M27 apple tree, rootstock apple trees, because practically they're very small, and the crop you get is also small. And when they're trained with espalier, they are practically very vulnerable to damage by bending of the branches and so. So these are my thoughts on the apple varieties and the nurseries, and I will just make more videos. This is what I can think of at the moment. This is the blackberry Oregon that we have, thornless. And the trick for zooming on something is to actually zoom. I mean, getting a clear picture from close-up, micro, is to actually zoom on them from a distance, then try to, from a distance I mean 1 or 2 feet, then try to focus on that. Otherwise, you just focus on the background. Now you see what I've done. I really now good focus, hopefully, on the blackberries.